This is talking about the Sith Dagger, you know, the one that matched the wreckage of the second Death Star perfectly. They're talking about how criticizing that well, it's dumb to criticize that, the Sith Dagger. They're talking about how it's dumb to criticize the Sith Dagger, and it's actually good writing. So let's play it. There's our boy, there's Element. I want whatever the Disney writers were on when they wrote this scene. I mean, who in 2025 is defending the Rise of Skywalker? Look at how, I guess this is somebody's video or somebody's short or something, but look at like how mad he is.
Wayfinder's there.
What? Okay, so this video has over 433,000 likes. And
433,000 likes? I don't think that's right, Element.
What? Okay, so this video has over 433,000 likes and over 6,000 comments. This is why I encourage everyone to practice.
I don't think it's probably 433,000 views. I don't think it's 433,000 likes, Element. I bet Dyad in the Force probably doesn't have that in the entire history of their channel. But he's triggered because someone dared to criticize the bad writing in The Rise of Skywalker. And must, in the year 2025, must defend Rise of Skywalker.
As critical and independent thinking, because stupidity is contagious, but only to those who have zero defense against it. Now, the comment section is just pure gold. So let's take a look at some of the most liked comments. This knife is ancient. Somehow lines up with the Death Star debris from a couple of decades ago. Okay, so the dagger isn't ancient. It's a regular dagger that has been modified recently to serve as a map for Ochi of Bestoon to come back to this place.
Now, is that in the movie? Now, chat, again, I only saw The Rise of Skywalker once. OG Star Wars. Sathari, if you're in the chat, like anyone who's seen the movie a few times, is that in the movie? Is that explained in the movie? Everyone is saying no. I don't know where he came up with that. Is that in a Disney comic or a fake Disney expanded novel or the novelization of The Rise of Skywalker, you know, something that came out after the fact to try and fix the massive plot hole, which is the Sith Dagger in The Rise of Skywalker? I don't remember anything like this ever being said in the actual movie.
Debris from a couple of decades ago. Okay, so the dagger isn't ancient. It's a regular dagger that has been modified recently to serve as a map for Ochi of Bestoon to come back to this place.
You see, if you go read this novel that came out 5 years after the movie did, or whenever it came out, it explains this. Okay, it doesn't matter. I don't give a shit about some fucking Disney novel or some Disney update, the novelization of the movie, a fucking comic book or whatever that came out after the fact to try to explain this. It's not in the movie, so I don't give a fucking shit. It's the job of the movie to make this shit make sense, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You're telling me that JJ, before making this movie, actually came up with that? That was the theory going into this. No, this movie was just a rushed piece of shit mess, and he didn't take the time to explain it. You could have explained that in a scene in the movie. I don't recall. I haven't seen one person say in the chat that they recall that being explained in the actual movie. It was not.
As ancient Sith.
But we're stupid and dumb for pointing it out. Because obviously, Element here is very well versed in Disney Star Wars outside of the movies.
On it, but it's not ancient itself. Let's take a look at the scene together.
Gabriel Knight, I just looked at Wikipedia. God help me, it doesn't say what he's saying. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man.
the location of the Wayfinder.
Yeah, why would it help him return to it when he's already been there? So you're telling me he would have had to have gone there in the first place to make it match, right? If Uchi, whatever the fuck his name is, that means he would have already been there. And, with as much, and it's in an ocean, I assume there's bad weather. So, and that's assuming that nothing shifts or anything like that as well, because it's in the ocean. And if a fucking hurricane or bad weather comes along, it would probably change it as well. So wouldn't it ruin it over time? Don't ask questions, chat. Just consume product, then get excited for next product.
Has been inscribed upon this dagger. It's the clue that Master Luke was looking for. I know exactly where the Wayfinder is.
Oh, we're not going to talk about this, though. C-3PO knows where it is, but can't read it.
Fortunately, it is written in the runic language of the Sith.
What if Rey was a bit to the left and she was like, it's not.
Oh, yeah, not gonna talk about that and how stupid it is. We're going to talk about this.
Runic language of the Sith.
What if Rey was a bit to the left and she was like, it's not here? So they clearly don't know how parallax works. Given the scale of the thing she's trying to line up with, Rey could go in either direction for 2 miles and it would still line up. I love how nobody even questions why.
Okay.
A 1,000-year-old dagger matches the design of a 40-year-old space station. That's because we knew it wasn't 1,000 years old. You got that info from the contagious stupidity I was talking about.
How it said that it was ancient? Like, again, where in the movie does it say what you're saying?
Year-old dagger matches the design of a 40-year-old space station. That's because we knew it wasn't 1,000 years old. You got that info from the contagious stupidity I was talking about. This dagger has done evil things. You're wielding the Youngling Slayer 9000, something you don't even deserve. Hello? Oh, it's intelligence calling in, misses you. I'm not even going to comment on
Sick burn, yo. Sick burn, yo.
Whether or not Rey deserves a fictional object. You guys have the weirdest hangups. But Rey...
Gabriel Knight, the Wikipedia seems to imply, the Wikipedia, that's what all of these guys go off of. The Wikipedia seems to imply that it's ancient.
Has already had an adverse reaction to that lightsaber. That was 2 movies ago. I know you guys don't like the movies, and that's fine. It's your opinion. But at this point, y'all ain't even paying attention. It's the equivalent.
Oh, and we are paying attention. We are paying attention. None of what you said is in the movie.
Of watching the movie with pepperoni on your eyes.
Yeah, where are your sources? Where are your receipts, bro?
Time I interact with someone who has an ungodly dislike for these movies, they always display that they have no idea what happened.
But you'll have Jay Iacob, who is a stalker, on your channel, though.
In the movies. How the F was she in the exact spot to perfectly line up the dagger and the Death Star? So she was given...
Didn't read the second half of his comment. How's the Rex Star death? Oh, wait, I think he does, actually. Hang on.
Exact spot to perfectly line up the dagger and the Death Star. So she was given the exact coordinates as well as the spot to stand.
The Emperor's Wayfinder is in the Imperial Vault at Delta 36, transient 936, bearing 32 on a moon in the Endor system. From the southern shore, only this blade tells. Only this blade tells.
Rise of Skywalker, chat. Brilliantly written.
And if you know anything about distance, size, and parallax, it would line up relatively well.
Again, though, but if something's laying in the ocean and you saw how big, remember weren't the waves, isn't there a line in the movie talking about how the waves are so big or something that we can't go until later when the waves are smaller? You're telling me that there would be no damage over time that would occur in, 40 years, was it?
How is the Death Star wreckage that big? In the movie, the thing was completely and utterly atomized. The wreckage was not atomized.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was the Emperor's throne room remained almost completely intact. The Emperor's throne room remains almost completely intact. And after the explosion.
was just old CGI. They used canned explosions all of the time. That didn't mean that the entire Death Star was just vaporized. That's not how explosions work. The Death Star 2 was 200 kilometers in diameter. That is the size of a small country in distance, but in diameter, a small moon. So yes, if something that large were to explode, you can expect some of its debris to be as large as a city skyline. Guys and gals,
I think if you talk to George Lucas after he shot the movie, that it would have been completely destroyed.
I'm not making this video to get you to like the sequels. The trilogy as a whole sits pretty
I'm just here to defend. I don't love the sequels, but I'm still going to defend them.
on my Star Wars ranking. What you like and what you dislike is a matter of opinion. What
Oh, good Lord. How's this only have one dislike? Yeah. Videos defending the sequel trilogy don't tend to do well on YouTube.